Hey everybody, it's Dave, and we are back with the Playbook, which is our 10 rules for success with Team Beachbody, and I am talking about rule number 3 today, which is personal development, one that is near and dear to my heart because I really feel like it's a major role in my success with Team Beachbody. So I'll tell you a little story. In 2008, I went to my first personal development seminar in August of 2008. It was the basic seminar from Sci Seminars. A lot of people have been through that seminar. I had no idea what it was. Monica signed us up for it through someone that she had met that thought it would be really great. And I was so busy practicing law at the time, I didn't even really question what was going on. And I looked at my calendar and I saw this thing and I was like, okay, why am I taking Thursday and Friday off of work? I can't really do that. And it's Saturday, Sunday as well. It's 4 days of my life. Seminar's 3 days now, but at the time it was 4 days. And it's like, why am I doing this? This is dumb. And I went and Googled it because I really didn't know what it was. I went and Googled it and I found a lot of people telling me what it was, and most of the reviews that I found online were negative. Was people who, maybe their spouse had gone and learned about themselves and decided, hey, I'm married to a jerk, and ended that relationship. The person blames the seminar, right? Classic. Oh, it was the seminar's fault. It's got nothing to do with the fact that I, drink all day and beat the crap out of her every night. It's the seminar's fault, right? But at the time, I was very resistant to this whole process. So I was like, I don't want to go. This is a great excuse not to go. I'll blame the seminar, right? And I got a call from a friend of mine, a guy named Scott, who I used to play golf with. And I was living in Arizona at the time. And Scott was calling me to see if I could play golf. And I was like, oh man, I would love nothing more than to play golf with you this weekend. But I have to go to this stupid seminar. And he's like, well, what is it? And I kind of described it. And he's like, oh. He's like, is it the basic seminar from Sci Seminars? And I was like, yeah, it is, as goofy as that seems. And he said, oh, you have to go do that, man. He's like, you absolutely have to go do that. He said, I did it a couple years ago. They've got some more advanced courses. I've done some of the advanced courses. And I was like, okay, wow, that's interesting. Because Scott was a guy I had a ton of respect for. One of the things I noticed about Scott right away was that if there was even a chance that he might be a few minutes late to meet me somewhere, he would always text me. And I was like, God, what a way to honor my time. Like, even if you just think I might be a couple minutes late. And I just had always noticed that about him, and a lot of other characteristics. Just an incredible, a man with a lot of integrity, and a guy that I became really close friends with. And I was like, okay, I will listen to you. I will take your advice and I will go to this silly, stupid seminar and sit there and learn nothing. And I got there and I walked in and I was full of judgment and I looked around and I saw all the stupid people at the stupid seminar and I made judgments about everybody in the audience, saying how broken they were and how, messed up everybody is, because that's the only people who attend seminars like this. Broken people do personal development. I was a lawyer. I wasn't broken. There was nothing wrong with me. It didn't take more than a couple hours for me to recognize how mistaken I was in that worldview. The truth was that this was August of 2008. My dad died in November of 2007, and so I'm less than a year out from the death of my dad, and I hadn't dealt with it. I had shoved all this crap under the carpet and expected that it was just going to go away. If I ignore it, it'll go away. And it was really ruining my life. My inability to come to terms with what had happened in our relationship was really tough. And I just was ignoring it, hoping that it would go away. Meanwhile, sitting in judgment of other people talking about how broken they were. I was just kind of a jerk, to be completely honest with you. Which, if you come and see me live, I will talk about it a little bit more. Probably a little bit more using some expletives. But so I went to that seminar and it really changed things for me. The biggest thing, first of all, it introduced me to personality types, which has become a foundation of what I teach. Like, if you work with me one-on-one, I will have you read a book called Personality Plus, written by a woman named Florence Littauer. I'm going to grab it because it's right here, I think. Yep. I keep it by my desk. That's how much I use it. I'll have you read this book. And I'll have you read this book because it will help you understand your personality type, and then you'll know how to communicate with people who have different personality types than you. I learned that at the seminar, and I was like, whoa, I thought I was super weird. I thought there were two types of people in the world. The first type of person was that somebody who thought, acted, and behaved just like me. And the second type of person was just an idiot. That was really kind of my worldview. That's a really tough way to work in a relationship business. Okay, and in plug people into the sports system, I talked to you about the importance of relationships in this business and how this is fundamentally a relationship business. Well, I was not in a very good position to build relationships with people because I was sitting in judgment of everybody. That was a big one. The other one was just accepting responsibility. You know, just understanding that everything that's happened in my life is my fault, good and bad. You know, I get to take credit for all of it. Yay! And I was able to really stop. And it was the time when I was able to really stop, hit the pause button on my life, and start to look, okay, you know, what the rewind button is when I'm going to stay away from. You know, what's happened has happened. I have to come to terms with that stuff, and I have to take responsibility for my role in all of these relationships. But I hit the fast forward button, and I started to look forward, and I went, okay, my dad was 62 when he passed away. And I thought to myself, okay, what if I'm 62 years old and I keep doing what I'm doing, which I was able to boil down. My law practice was basically pushing paper around, making money for other people, you know, hanging up on people and generally being kind of a jerk. In which world that my old personality played really well there. But it wasn't going to play well here. And so I looked at the future, and, you know, at the law firm that I was working at, there was one guy who had it really sorted out, and he had a great family, he had a great marriage, he had great kids. He was involved in his community. I mean, just a fantastic guy. The rest, not happy people. Just really not happy people. A variety of things. You know, alcoholics, drugs, divorces, combinations of those things. Very alienated from their kids. Sometimes a combination, sometimes a variety. But again, just a group of people who fundamentally weren't very happy. Mainly because they just spent their entire day fighting with each other. You know, that's what lawyers do. So that was where I really recognized I don't want to do this anymore. I do not want to practice law anymore. I wasn't sure that I was going to be a coach, but I was sure that I wasn't going to do that anymore. I was actually thinking about being a teacher. At the time, I didn't recognize that being a teacher is exactly what we do here. You know, you learn, practice, succeed, and teach. And so I have had an opportunity to be a teacher, which I think is really awesome, and it's like kind of my calling in life. Less than a month after I went to that personal development seminar, the world economy crashed. Lehman Brothers declared bankruptcy on September 15th of 2008, and my law practice was toast. And so I had nothing to really hold on to, you know, and so it was time for me to really move and get up. Had I not gone to that personal development seminar, I really don't know how I would have reacted to that. And after that, I went on to do some of those advanced classes as well. Personal development has really been a foundation of what I do. I'm constantly reading something, constantly learning something. Aside from just my own personal story and the impacts it's had on my life, I want to leave you with a couple of things. The first one is to understand that there's really kind of two types of personal development. There's mindset stuff and there's skill set things. So an example of a mindset thing might be books about personal responsibility. That's a mindset thing. That's about how you think. Right? The ability to control your mind and stay positive. Those are mindset things. The ability to like continue to work hard. The ability to take a difficult situation and look for, you know, some people would say the silver lining. I understand that every time things are hard, I have more opportunity. Gary Player was one of the most famous golfers that ever lived. And Gary Player said he always liked to play in the rain. And people are like, why do you like to play in the rain? He's like, oh, it's not that I like the rain. It's just that when it's cold and rainy and miserable, half the field quits. So it's harder for me to play in the rain, but half the guys have quit. So I'm only playing against the other half of the guys who are willing to go and suffer. That's how I've learned how to think. That's mindset, right? That's mindset. And there are a lot of books about mindset. I also think you need some skill set stuff. I'll tell you, Personality Plus for me is a skill set thing. Becoming an excellent communicator and building relationships with people is a skill set. For sure. People think it's inherent. It's not. I was bad at it. I learned how to do it, and that book is really the one thing that helped me more than anything else I can really identify other than that seminar I just talked about. But skill set, I think, also includes fitness and nutrition. That's what we do. You know, we're fitness and nutrition coaches. So I spent a lot of time. I read Mark Sisson's books, The Primal Blueprint and the 21 Day. I can't remember the other name of it. I read a lot of books about sports performance because that's my thing. I read a lot of books about nutrition and how that all works. Books about the paleo diet or this, vegetarianism, lots of different things, so that I can understand all this stuff. So when people come to me, I can go, oh yeah, I'm not an expert in that field, but I know a little bit about it. I can talk to you about that. That's personal development, working on that skill set. I think skill set stuff also for me became learning how to work on the internet. I didn't have a Facebook page in 2008 when I went to that seminar, or when the market crashed. I didn't have a Facebook page until Thanksgiving of 2008. It's when I opened my Facebook page. I knew nothing about the internet. I didn't have a YouTube. I didn't have Twitter, or Instagram didn't even exist. And I mean, it took me a long time to get comfortable filming videos. It took me a long time to learn what to do with them. Email marketing, blogging, all that type of stuff, which helps you grow your business. That's all personal development. So as you look at, a weekly checklist that tells you maybe do 15 minutes of personal development a day, you need to understand yourself, and you need to figure out, where do you need the most work? Is it your mindset? Is it skill set, or some combination? Probably some combination. If you're like me, I think you got to start with mindset stuff. You got to wrap your head around personal responsibility. It's the number one foundation, I think, of everything. My favorite definition of the word entrepreneur, which is what you are now that you're a coach, is somebody who accepts all of the risk of the success or failure of a business. That's the way this works. I mean, the brutal truth here is that if it works and you kill it, it's because you did it. And if it doesn't, it's because you didn't. That's just the truth. The sooner you can come to terms with that and recognize that, is the sooner that you move from the guy who blames the seminar for the breakup of his marriage, rather than looking in the mirror and going, I need to improve who I am. And that maybe is why that happened, not because of some seminar, right? That's just crazy when I say it like that. But if you go on the internet, that's what you read. Okay, so that's really it. Skill set, mindset, and understanding that they are different, but they both really are important, and they both count as personal development. Don't get too comfortable in one of those two boxes. That's a mistake I see a lot of people make, is that they'll get really happy reading about being happy, but they don't ever do anything. Or they develop a bunch of skills that would allow them to be successful, except they've got this mindset issue over here that they're ignoring because it's ugly and they don't want to deal with it. Right? And so it doesn't matter if you've done that. If you've only focused on one of these, what you've probably done is build a really shiny toolbox. I see a lot of people do this, where they go to seminars and they read books and they're into personal development, and they say all the right things and don't really ever do anything. And the reason is they've taken all this time to build this elaborate toolbox. That's what personal development is, right? It's skill set stuff as tools. Build this elaborate toolbox. They never take the tools out and get them dirty. They just keep shining the tools. And you've got to go build something with the tools. And that's really the key to personal development, is putting it in action. Okay, so that's it. That is number 3, personal development. I'll see you back tomorrow for number 4, push play, drink Shakeology.